beloved station, Radio Cayman.
The voice,
the heart, the soul of the Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health. And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Ort Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees. So fair. Today is the 5th day of August 2022 right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Again, those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, we urge you to please, please, please be extremely cautious. Whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle, we urge you to ensure that you follow the rules of the road. And we know if you do so, then the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday, and we have some names that we will be calling out. We'll identify those persons who we know that are celebrating a birthday today, and to remind you that the birthday shout-out is proudly brought to you by life insurance agents Michael Webster and Randall Lawson from Cayman Insurance Center, and they urge you to not take chances with your family's future. For those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to express our sincere condolences to you. We know that there are some families that have been hit really hard with more than one death in the family, and that has to be extremely painful. And we want to extend our special and sincere condolences to you as well. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and also that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing to you. Those of you who are ill, either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we wish you a speedy recovery as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Ort Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. Beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson again this morning, waiting to take your calls. You can call us on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flo. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and 949-6990. Email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candw.ky. WhatsApp us, 925-3261, where you can send us a text message or leave us a voice note, the contents of which will be played during the course of the show. And of course, you can follow us simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream as well. So we're going to just a little bit of housekeeping as well. Yes, let's do that. After the 8:50 news this morning, we will have representatives from the Cayman Islands Cycling Association in the studio with us, talking about cycling in the Cayman Islands. And of course, many of you would be aware of the fact that the Commonwealth Games are now taking place as well. So we will be talking about Cayman's participation in the Commonwealth Games as it relates to cycling as well. So let's look at the birthday greetings. So today, Izzy Obi celebrating a birthday today. Also, let me make sure I find these correctly now. I've got to find all of them. Okay, we have Mr. Mitchell Wells, who's celebrating a birthday today, and birthday greetings are coming from your wife, Nellie, as well as your children. Children and grandchildren, sorry, yeah. Also, Miss Delia Powery, she's celebrating a birthday tomorrow, so we want to wish her a happy birthday when it comes. We also know that Mr. Crosby Solomon, he's the star at the Public Works Department. He celebrated a birthday yesterday also. Also, Mr. Ori Ebanks of West Bay, he's celebrating his 98th birthday today, and greetings are coming from all of his family and friends as well. And Tanika Ebanks is celebrating she celebrated her 25th birthday on the 4th of August, yesterday also. So Mr. Ori Ebanks, 98 years of age today as well. Mr. Mitchell Wells celebrating birthday today also. And what was the other one I said? Miss Izzy Obi celebrating a birthday today. And then we had some who celebrated a birthday yesterday, like Mr. Crosby Solomon, and then Miss Delia Power celebrating her birthday tomorrow as well. So, folks, again, want to remind you that the birthday shout-outs, they have been brought to you by insurance agents Michael Webster and Randall Lawson from Cayman Insurance Center. And remember what they remind you of. Don't take chances with your family's future. Again, I want to remind you that the birthday shout-outs from 7:30 until 7:45. Please send us your messages in advance. You can do so by sending it up to our WhatsApp number, 925-3261, or you can email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candw.ky, or if you simply want to call in and express your greetings, you can do so as well. We have a toll-free number that is provided courtesy of Flow. That toll-free number is 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and 949-6990. And I've already given you the email numbers and the WhatsApp numbers as well. If you do either of those, then it makes life so much easier for us to convey those greetings on For the Record to your family members and friends as well. We haven't been sharing the COVID-19 report with you in recent times because we've been extremely busy with other matters, but let's share that with you this morning as well. And here is what we have. This was yesterday, 4th of August, Public Health Spotlight. Public Health Department published its weekly spotlight on communicable and non-communicable diseases yesterday, 4th of August. As far as the international situation goes, they report that globally, the reported number of cases decreased during the last week by 9% compared to the week prior. This may indicate a plateau of the recent rise in cases. However, this may also be attributed to the fact that many countries have changed their testing strategy recently. As far as local trends are concerned, similar to recent weeks, the local data shows a continuing decline in cases that have been detected and in the number of tests conducted. So the number of tests conducted, there's a decline in that. There's also a decline in the number of cases that have been detected. Whether or not there's any correlation between the two, I'm not sure. Goes on to say that the number of cases detected fell from 323 to 310 cases, with the case rate declining by 4% to 447 cases per 100,000 population, from 466 cases per 100,000 population. The number of PCR tests conducted decreased by 16% as well, and the test positivity increased by 11% to be 50% for the past week. As far as hospital admissions are concerned, 8 new hospital admissions were registered during Epi Week 30, one less than the previous week. Of the 8 new admissions, 3 were admitted due to COVID-19 morbidity, and 5 were detected on screening. A total of 11 patients required inpatient treatment, a decrease from 15 patients in the previous week. As far as vaccinations are concerned, during Epi Week 29, there were 86 adults who received the COVID-19 vaccine, 29 first dose and 57 second dose, and 41 children, 22 first dose and 19 second dose. This data presents vaccine uptake with a week's lag to provide the complete data and allow reporting lags as well. So what are the key messages that their authorities are trying to get across to you? What they're saying is that whilst the number of detected cases has decreased, a reduction in transmission is not necessarily reflected by other data indicators. Preventative measures, including good hand hygiene, home isolation for those positive, wearing of masks in public, and uptake of the vaccine continue to be advised to reduce the risk of infection as well. So those are the latest as far as COVID-19 is concerned, and what they're basically saying is continue to practice hygiene as well as protecting yourselves when in public. So we also have birthday wishes to Mr. Charlie Bush, who will be celebrating his 98th birthday on Sunday. Mr. Charlie Bush will be celebrating his 98th birthday on Sunday. Greetings are coming from his sister, Sugar V, and family, and may God bless him on his very special day. Also, we have someone sending out a shout out to their daughter, Rianne Wright, on her special day today. She turns 18. Please send her all the love from her mom, Rosita Borden, family and friends, saying have a great day and greetings. Also, personally, family matter, send out a belated happy birthday greetings to Karis Ebanks as well. Karis celebrated her birthday on Saturday last, but of course, she was traveling also from South Carolina to Cayman. So with all of the excitement of the travel and being back home after several weeks abroad, I think those things overshadowed her birthday greetings. But Karis had a ball in South Carolina. She enjoyed it immensely as well. Looking forward to starting school soon. Also, folks, we're going to take a commercial break. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Affectionately known as Miss Kippy, Muriel Sims was a very humble person who had a passion for teaching and taught children at her residence on Goring Avenue, Georgetown, until children attended government school at the age of 7. Her classes were held outside without seating, and children wrote on slates instead of blackboards. At times, there would be 10 to 12 students attending classes, which were held under a tree, and throughout the day, the students would shift around according to the sun. The cost was a pence per child per day, although Miss Kippy turned no child away. For those who knew her best, Miss Kippy was kind, inspiring, pure, purposeful, and yearning always to better the community in which she lived, whether imparting knowledge to children or wishing the best for her fellow man. Information from this historical vignette was sourced from the Lions Club of Grand Cayman.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vant Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom-designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
At Doctor's Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctor's Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Hi, I'm life insurance agent Michael Webster.
And I am Randy Lawson from Cayman Insurance Center.
Proud sponsors of the birthday shoutouts on For the Record.
Whether you're another year older or just a year wiser,
making sure your family is protected is a pretty wise choice. I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
And I am Randy Lawson at 322-2145. Give us a call today to find out how you can better secure your family's future.
Cayman Insurance Center, protecting you and your family so you can take back your future.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio yet, but after the 8:15 news, we will have representatives from the Cayman Islands Cycling Association with us in the studio as well. Meanwhile, as I mentioned earlier, the Commonwealth Games are taking place in Birmingham. They run from the 28th of July until the 8th of August, Monday the 8th of August, and we'll give you a little history as far as the Cayman Islands are concerned and some preview of cycling and our participation in the Commonwealth Games as well. So the cycling attendance at the Commonwealth Games, 1986 in Edinburgh, Scotland, we attended. 1990, Auckland, New Zealand. 1994, Victoria, Canada. 1998, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. 2006, Melbourne, Australia. 2014, Glasgow, Scotland. And of course, this year in Birmingham, England as well. Well, we should also note that the Cayman first attended the Commonwealth Games in 1978 in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. So in total, we have attended 10 Commonwealth Games beginning in 1978. The Cayman Islands, we have won 2 medals during this time. A bronze by Kareem Street Thompson at the 2002 Manchester Games in long jump, right? And a gold medal by Sidoni Mothersill at the 2010 Delhi India Games for the 200 meters. And I believe she was upgraded to that after a disqualification or something, but I could be incorrect with that. If you know the details of that, certainly please share them with us. I'll try to see what I can find on that. But if my memory serves me correct, I think she was upgraded, to the goal after a disqualification. Also, that since 1986, the Cayman Islands cycling teams, they have participated in road race, team time trial, individual time trial, as well as track cycling. So when we have a discussion this morning about the Cycling Association, of course I will try to start off by giving or asking or guests to sort of give us a preview of the Cayman Islands Cycling Association. There are several notable names in the Cayman Islands who were instrumental, were influential in introducing cycling at a competitive level in the Cayman Islands, and we would want to talk about that. We know before that there were guys that we admired, persons like Mr. Ashley Ramon, who those days you had the Raleigh and the Rudge bicycles, and we didn't have anything called a track bike. We converted a regular bike into what we call a fixed wheel bike. And Mr. Ashley Ramon, big, tall, strong Georgetowner from Shedden Road. He could push that, what we call either 52 or 52.9 sprocket. I recall the days Mr. Jack Whitaker, when he was alive, and God bless his memory, sitting with him at his gas station along with Mr. Dicker Brown and others, and Jack talking about riding from north side to town and how quickly he could do that as well, and how he related to me the day I think it was when he got his call to go with National Bulk and riding into town those days. That was our mode of transportation, either bicycle or a donkey or a horse, or you did it on your own two feet as well. So we have come a long way, still a long way to go as well. As far as our medaling in the Olympics or in the Commonwealth Games or in the Island Games as well, based on our population, we have a small population. We haven't done a lot. And maybe we want to inquire and look into, how we can continue to enhance our athletic prowess here in the Cayman Islands. My view on it is that Caymanians retire too early. You have the football players, they reach 24, 25 years old and say, I stopped playing football, I'm retiring now. Anyway, folks, top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. When we return, we will be talking about cycling in the Cayman Islands. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Conner. And studio time by Foster's is 8 o'clock.
Looking for better prices?
You'll always find them at Foster's.
Just like Bounty Select-A-Size 6-pack, only $9.49. Save $1.50.
Or find better value on Stone Ridge Creamery ice cream. 48 ounce, just $4.49. Save 80 cents. And Distinction Sweetened Condensed Milk, $1.09. Save 40 cents.
You'll find even more great specials across the island at all Foster's locations and online at fosters.ky. Foster's, better prices because we care.
Price is good until 10th August 2022.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Karsley Fuller. Atmospheric and oceanic conditions still favor an above normal 2022 Atlantic hurricane season, according to the NOAA's annual mid-season update issued this week by the Climate Prediction Center. Forecasters with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration in the U.S. have slightly decreased the likelihood of an above-normal Atlantic hurricane season to 60%. That's from 65% issued in May. The likelihood of near-normal activity has risen to 30%, and the chances remain at 10% for a below-normal season. NOAA says the region is, quote, just getting into the peak months of August through October for hurricane development, and it anticipates more storms on the way. The outlook, which covers the entire 6-month hurricane season that ends on November 30th, calls for 14 to 20 named storms, of which 6 to 10 could become hurricanes. Of those, 3 to 5 could become major hurricanes. The NOAA provides these ranges with a, quote, 70% confidence. So far, the season has seen 3 named storms, no hurricanes in the Atlantic basin. Here in Cayman, the director of Hazard Management Cayman Islands says despite the relatively slow start to the season, they are still urging residents to stay vigilant and not become complacent.
The dust clouds have obviously helped us a bit this year, but at the end of the day, it really does take one storm, and we're strongly encouraging people to remain prepared and be on the lookout and make sure their hurricane plans are in place, as well as where they're going to shelter and food supplies.
Danielle Coleman tells Radio Cayman HMCI will continue to prep on the government side, ensuring the National Emergency Operations Center is ready in the event of a storm. And the Department of Environment's turtle team had a long day on Monday. There were so many turtle nests that they were out for more than 10 hours logging them. Knowing more were coming back to nest that night, the DOE's visiting scientist Joe Roche went out for night work while enforcement were out on anti-poaching patrol. Mr. Roche was checking nests along the 7 Mile Beach area when he stumbled across a turtle that had taken a wrong turn and ended up in a pool. So he, along with a chief conservation officer and a family of helpful tourists, helped the turtle get back out of the pool. Fortunately, she had enough energy to make her own way down to the beach. This is a good reminder that non-turtle-friendly lights can disorient adult turtles and hatchlings. You can find out about the DOE's TFL program by emailing emu.doe@gov.ky. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with Chris Barrow. China has announced that it's suspending cooperation with the United States on multiple issues in retaliation for the recent visit to Taiwan by Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the US House of Representatives. Beijing will halt military dialogue and climate talks, as well as coordination on cross-border crime and illegal migration. It's also imposed unspecified sanctions on Ms. Pelosi. China has continued its military show of force in the seas around Taiwan for a second day. The Taiwanese Defense Ministry said multiple Chinese vessels and aircraft had crossed the median line of the Taiwan Strait, which separates the island from the mainland. It said it had responded with air and sea patrols and activated land-based missile systems. 3 more ships loaded with grain have sailed from Ukrainian ports, one from Odessa, bound for Ireland, and 2 others from Chornomorsk towards Britain and Turkey. Between them, the vessels are carrying more than 50,000 tons of produce. Moscow and Kiev agreed in Istanbul last month to resume shipments from Ukrainian ports. The French government has activated a crisis unit to try to coordinate efforts to deal with a historic drought that's affecting almost all of the mainland. The Prime Minister, Elisabeth Borne, said the drought was the worst ever recorded in France. The head of Greece's intelligence service, Panagiotis Kontaleon, has resigned amid a phone-tapping scandal. Last week, the leader of an opposition centre-left alliance filed a court complaint alleging his phone had been contaminated with surveillance software. Singapore has hanged 2 men sentenced for drug trafficking, bringing the number of executions it's carried out since resuming the practice 4 months ago to 10. The men had been found guilty of trafficking around 50 grams of pure heroin. Singapore says the death penalty is an effective deterrent against narcotics trafficking. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Bordentown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Cybercrime happens online or through the technology we use every day. Anyone can be a victim of cybercrime, whether you are a young person being bullied or harassed online, or an older person or business who's been scammed out of money or personal data. Cybercrime is an issue that touches all of us. The Cayman Islands government has therefore created an online resource to help keep you cyber safe in an ever-changing world.
In online situations, it is better to be cyber safe than sorry. Learn now to protect yourself against cybercrime. Visit gov.ky/cybersafe.
Excuse me, I noticed you from afar.
Really? Me?
Well, not you. The KFC sandwich you're eating?
Oh, Zinger.
Sorry, I'm not trying to be funny.
No, it's called the Zinger Sandwich. Crunchy, juicy, 100% chicken breast, crisp lettuce, sweet mayo on a seeded bun with a little zing. KFC's chicken is not factory breaded, frozen, and refried like the Burger Boys. Customize your KFC Zinger and dip it in barbecue sauce.
Wow, now I'm starting to notice you too.
KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Are you an aspiring journalist or university graduate interested in a career in journalism or broadcasting? Then the Ministry of Tourism and Transport's Shadow a Journalist essay competition is for you. Contest winners will get the chance to shadow international journalists covering the CTO conference and Caribbean Aviation Day at the Ritz-Carlton from the 12th to the 15th of September. Submit your essay by August 21st to enter. For full competition details, log on to gov.ky or email pr.mott@gov.ky.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Brit-K, where people come first.
Good morning, everyone. Hello? Hello? Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Okay, I see we have just about everyone, and of course Tom drops off, as per usual. Let's just wait a minute here. He always comes right back, and we're almost ready, and... oh, whoever's dog that is, please go on mute. Why won't it let me share my screen? Okay, looks like we're ready to start.
We're like a video conference with no technical issues. CG Brit-K. Good like that.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 84 degrees. Relative humidity is 77%. The barometric pressure is 29.96 inches and rising. The wind is out of the east at 8 knots. Overnight low temperature was 83 degrees. Synopsis indicate isolated showers along with moderate easterly winds and seas are expected across the Cayman area for the next 24 hours. As a mid-level trough moves over the northwest Caribbean. Radar images show isolated showers in and around the Cayman Islands moving west. Now the forecast for today, calling for partly cloudy skies, becoming cloudy at times, with a 40% chance of afternoon showers and possible thunder, and showers will be locally heavy at times. Temperatures will rise to the low 90s today, and winds will be east to northeast at 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. Tonight, partly cloudy to cloudy skies with a 30% chance of nighttime showers and temperatures falling to the mid-70s tonight. Winds will be east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. Today's low tide will occur this morning at 9:26, high tide this evening at a minute after 5, and a low tide again tonight at 10:55. The sun will set this evening at 6:58 and will rise tomorrow morning at 4 minutes after 6. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Sunday morning.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Brit-K, where people come first.
Head east on Cove Road.
Sharp left on Church Street. Sharper left. No, your other left. Did I say left? No, you missed it. Okay, I'm lost.
With money-saving bundling options for home and motor, we're like a GPS that doesn't steer you wrong. CG Brit K. Good like that.
Let's stop and ask for directions.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Achieving your goals is a very rewarding feeling, but at times can feel very frustrating, especially if and when we miss our target. As you approach your goals in life, set yourself up for success.
When setting goals, adjust as necessary. When goal setting, anticipate ups and downs. Often it will be easier to stick to some goals than others, so allow yourself to have some flexibility in your approach and assessment. Continue to dream and adjust the end game to maintain interest and motivation. Ask yourself, is this really my goal? If it is a goal imposed by others, then consider what may be in it for you. Why would you do this? There is always the option not to do it. Figure out why you're doing it and then go for it.
Change your thinking and change your life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. OnCourse Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Good morning once again. Let's take a look at what's happening on our roads. Traffic is busy coming off of Bobby Thompson Way as well as off of Agnes Way. And traffic on Coon Road heading to Georgetown is busy. As we look to downtown Georgetown on Edward Street, traffic is flowing moderately as well as on Shedden Road. To the east on Shamrock Road, traffic is steady bit flowing. Eastbound traffic on Cool Road is light to moderate. And coming from the West Bay four-way stop, traffic flowing pretty good. And on Northtown Road, traffic is moderate in both directions. That's the very latest on your traffic. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12 o'clock. We'll give you another traffic report. Have a good morning and drive safe, Cayman Islands.
Subway makes it easy for you to stay on top of your health and wellness goals with our Fresh Fit menu options. Choose from 5 Fresh Fit Subway sandwiches with only 450 calories or less per 6-inch sub. Turkey breast, veggie, oven roasted chicken, black forest ham, sweet onion chicken teriyaki, or make your 6-inch Fresh Fit sub into a salad or wrap prepared with fresh vegetables. For a full menu and nutritional information, visit subway.ky. Subway, eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
On the road again. Boss, I broke down on the road, The truck looked like an Optimus Prime barbecue.
In this heat, not surprised. But we need to get this cargo moving. Let's get the truck into Superior Auto pronto.
When your trucks go down, Superior Auto is the team to get you back up. Reliable, quality trained technicians who value your time and aim to get your trucks back in service so you can continue to be of service to your customers. Specializing in complete Isuzu, Hino, and other models of delivery box trucks and its repairs, including computer diagnostics, mechanical, and body repair. Superior Auto, 525-9571 or 949-9570. Keep on trucking with Superior Auto.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
West Bay, home to Barkas National Park, the touristy flair, a family community, a political powerhouse. From sports enthusiasts to car aficionados, affection for silver thatch rope. No matter how far you may venture, West Bay will always be where the heart is. Home will always be in West Bay. West Bay Pharmacy, caring for your home and your family. West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient, quality care is just around the corner.
For the record with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me two members of the executive of the Cayman Cycling Association. In the studio with me, we have Mr. Daniel Cummins, who is the president of the association, and Mr. Edward Harper, who's the secretary of the association. Gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning. Thank you for having us.
Morning, OC. Thanks for having us.
There are so many things that we can talk about. I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping first. We will be accepting calls. Anyone who wants to call in and ask questions or give any insight into cycling in the Cayman Islands. We are also expecting to have some of our participants at the Commonwealth Games call in as well. So what we would do is ask you to hold off on your calls for a few seconds in the event that they call in so that we can accommodate them. But meanwhile, we're going to talk about the Cycling Association. And Daniel, I'm going to welcome you to start off and, give us a little history of the Cycling Association as well.
Sure. Thanks, OC. I guess cycling has obviously been around in Cayman a very long time. From back in the 80s, it was one of the few sports where we had Olympic participation. There was a large amount of international competition at that point with some of the older statesmen of cycling, your Craig Merrins, your Perry Merrin, your Richard Pascal, David Dibbin, all the kind of founders of cycling that were regularly away at international competition and looking away. So really that kind of started in the late 70s and obviously kind of came into formal being in the early 80s with people like Ted Gray and Uncle
Nunez.
Bill and Bobby Nunez and those that really worked to form a proper association with rules and guidelines and constitution. And
Peter Larder also.
Peter Larder was in there. Yes, yes, back in the 80s. So it was. That's when it kind of, I guess, really came into formal being, and with that very quickly came the rise to international competition at Pan Ams and Olympics and various things. And I think that kind of continued until the late 80s. Then I think there was maybe a bit of a lull in the international competition for a while. You know, Cayman always had a strong cycling community, and things kind of went a bit silent for a bit. And then there was some participation in smaller meets, island games, things like that. And then in kind of 2010, I think it kind of picked up again. Seemed to be a bit of a revitalization of cycling. There was professional teams that came down at the time, and a kind of return to that sort of competition. And then again, another kind of resurgence in probably 2017 when we started taking kind of younger participants. I mean, generally, cycling is in Cayman has been a kind of man sport just because of the financial barrier for entry. It's not a cheap sport compared to running or football where you just pick up a pair of boots. But it was great to see kind of younger people starting to get into cycling. And so in kind of 2017, 2018, we started to go to some junior games, junior Pan Ams, junior Caribbean Champs. And then it's kind of just kind of picked up from there. Fast forward to today, this year, we had a new AGM with a new board come in and kind of a renewed sense of purpose for cycling. So that's really what we're looking to the future towards. So.
Okay. Edward, anything you want to add?
Daniel covered on a lot already, but as he had said, there had been different points of resurgence with cycling, but what we are trying to do now is not really anything different from before, in the sense that we all wanted the same goal, but there's a different group that is really trying to push the rebranding of cycling to get it back out there so that we can see it, we can feel it. And as Daniel mentioned, we have a few younger riders involved in the sport, and we're trying to ensure that they get supported in the right way and people know what they're doing, and while at the same time figure out how it is that we're going to get more people involved in the sport, and the participation that could be not just from creating events for them, but look to see cycling is also diversified in the last few years. So there are different areas of cycling, and it's not just riding on the road anymore. So there are more options for us to see how it is that we can bring, especially the younger ones, into the sport, and then make our name more in the region, which, we've been a little bit silent. Not so much the last 2-3 years, but before that. So I think now our presence is being felt again, and we want to continue in that direction.
Okay. What are some of the challenges that we face here in the Cayman Islands as far as the cycling pool is concerned? We know the days of Mr. Bob Nunes, Peter Larder, Mr. Ted Gray, and there were youngsters that they brought into cycling to push them, steer them in the right direction, not only from an athletic standpoint, but also from a social standpoint as well. And it wasn't unusual to see Mr. Tate Gray, for instance, out there in the evenings, either on a motorcycle. I think at first it was on a scooter. Then eventually, he had a truck. He also had his day job working at CIBC and everything. But the dedication that persons like him, John, I'm trying to remember his name now, Ray, and those that were all involved in it at that point in time, that dedication that was there. Of course, that was more of an individual level, even though they were the core of the association that was established then. We know Bob Nunes was instrumental in the formation and everything. Those were the challenges that we faced then. What are some of the challenges that we face in cycling now? Daniel spoke about the fact that it is not a cheap sport, to get involved in. Also, the challenge that we see in Cayman in relation to that it's very difficult for an individual to fully dedicate themselves to athletics or whatever. They have to have a day job because you don't have the kind of support that other countries or other jurisdictions may have. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Sure. I mean, I think from the kind of there's a couple points that you touched on, which is the same with any sport. I mean, especially sports that aren't, say, mainstream like athletics or football, where it's easy to gather a group of individuals. It's cheap to get a football game going or just go for a run. But not only that, I guess what those. The individuals you mentioned are great, and it's exactly that. It's having individuals that are passionate for the sport. Mm-hmm. But the downside to that is, as soon as that individual is not in the picture anymore, a lot of that goes away. So you have to have that
continuity. Yes.
You're absolutely right. So you had, that those guys were instrumental in getting cycling. But unfortunately, as we see with a lot of things, if it's all centered around a single individual, when that individual goes, you will find that comes off. So one of the things we're going to try and address is to put in more programs and really create sustained initiatives that can continue beyond the board, beyond anybody here, and really kind of look to create these pathways for individuals as well. And I think that's a kind of another point. Another challenge is, in the past, I think, as a youth playing football, you can see a pathway to where you want to go. You play for your school, you play for a club, maybe you get a trial, or you play for a college, and you can see that progression. With cycling, there was kind of no progression, because as much as soon as the kind of people that were championing those youth initiatives went away, for someone to just enter into the sport, they didn't know where to start. They didn't really know where to ride. They didn't know who to ride with. So there was maybe a bit of information gap as well as to figuring out. Obviously, road safety is a big thing. Parents, I would say a lot of parents are probably not comfortable with their kids, riding on the road. So again, looking to create opportunities where that can be done in a safe environment, and also a little bit of press and marketing as well. Just kind of everybody knows about football and everybody knows about athletics and swimming, but I think a lot of people just didn't know what we were doing with cycling, and it didn't have that kind of mainstream knowledge of the sport and what we were doing. I mean, just this year, we've had athletes go to Argentina, Guadeloupe, and Birmingham, and there's not a lot of sports where you can say you're going to get that level of international exposure, and that diversity of just experience for people with an interest in the sport. So I think there's a couple barriers there, but again, I think with the group we have now, I think those can, I won't say easily be addressed, but can be addressed with good organization and good initiatives that are sustainable, funded properly, and can generate a lot of interest from the public.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay. And just to add to that, also, if I can, is you mentioned before we had 10 Gray coaching the youngsters. I think for a while they were absent of a coach, and now we have an arrangement with, I can't remember, Ken Coach Ken. Yeah, Ken Go. Mm-hmm. So he, in the last few years, has been assisting cyclists like Nathaniel and Victor, mm-hmm. who two of the youngsters who are currently away, and now we actually have an arrangement with him. So he's right now the interim coach for the Cayman Cycling Association. So little things like that. I mean, we want to get people involved, but as you mentioned, people like Ted Gray would have structured programs for the cyclists that he thinks would have potential. So mm-hmm. while we're going to try and get people in and identify potential talent, we can't just have them do anything that they want to do.
Yes.
So we want to make sure now that when we do find these guys, we can try and put them on possibly a development team, which will be managed by the coach. We need to see how we can get more the youngsters involved. So going forward, you'll see us trying to see how we can get into schools and reach out to more people in the community to get some of the young kids in. But then they would have a program. Maybe we try and get either some holiday or summer program where we can see how they ride on bikes. And even right now, we're in the works to see how we could potentially get maybe something like a BMX track or some area that kids can ride. I mean, it's not riding on the road, but at the same time, the development of the youth is really about trying to get them on bicycles as early as possible. Okay. Trying to get them to be passionate and their parents. Okay. Right?
We're going to take a commercial break. I believe we have a caller on hold as well. We will take that caller as soon as we return. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vamt Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vamt Motors, Walkers Road.
Are you feeling sick, but don't feel ill enough to go to the doctor? Ask your pharmacist for advice. Here at West Bay Pharmacy, our pharmacists have been trained to offer helpful, easy-to-understand advice on the treatment of everyday minor ailments for yourself and all the family. Anything from headaches, cough and sore throat, to cold sores, our pharmacists will know when medical help is needed and will not hesitate to refer you to your doctor if your symptoms demand it. Like doctors, our pharmacists have a professional code, which means all personal information you give them will be treated in the strictest confidence. Visit us today at West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
JN Money, money touchdown. Send the money now. Reach wow. You say you need some money. JN Money, I can send it in a hurry. Get through quick when you come collect your cash, or use a money card and swipe it in a flash. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah. Send and receive funds at any JN Money location. It's fast, affordable, and convenient. Money touchdown with JN Money. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah.
Call 345-945-2014 for details. Available at JN Money locations across the Cayman Islands.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
The Department of Agriculture would like to advise the community that their warehouse, sales office, and plant nursery on Agricola Drive in Lower Valley will now be open 6 days per week, Monday to Friday, 8:15 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., and Saturdays, 8:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For more information, call 947-3090 or visit their Facebook or Instagram page at Agriculture Cayman.
System 1 loaded. 1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. I want to remind you that we have in the studio with us this morning two representatives from the Cayman Cycling Association, the president, Mr. Daniel Cummins, and the secretary, Mr. Edward Harper. We have a caller on hold who's been holding for a while. We're going to take that caller. Behind that caller, we also have some members of the contingent at the Commonwealth Games. They're on the line as well, and we will be talking with them. So let's take the first caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning. Good morning. I just understood that you got the athletes waiting.
Yes.
To mention our Olympian from West Bay, Mr. Alfred Ebanks.
Yes,
84, 88, and 92. So I just throwing that name on there.
Mm-hmm.
You can dig up a little information on him also. Good show. Talk to you later.
Thank you very much. That's the danger when you start calling names. You have a tendency to miss some of them, but we know who they all are, and we'll try to remember them as well. Let's go to the phone lines now, gentlemen. Over there across the pond. Good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, guys. Hi. Thanks for having us.
Hey.
Good morning.
Gareth. So that's actually Gareth Vandenberg. He's our treasurer, and he's over there as our representative for Cayman Cycling with the team as the team manager.
Okay. Well, what I'll do is I'll let you moderate this portion of it.
No
with Gareth, if you don't mind, Daniel, go right ahead.
So with Gareth over in Birmingham is, as we said, Ken Gokul, who's the coach. We have Michael Testori, a national athlete who's based in Dubai, and from Cayman, we have Nathaniel Forbes, who's been had a couple of competitions
from
recently.
right there in Rockhole.
and Victor Magales, who was a local, very, very good Carifta running athlete that we were fortunate enough to have see the light and transition over to cycling. So over to you, Gareth.
Yeah, cool. No, thanks for having us, guys. So we've almost got a full contingent with us. We've got Ken, Mike, and Victor. Unfortunately, Nat's out still on a training ride, But yeah, so we're all here in the athlete chill area, enjoying ourselves in the light Birmingham breeze. We had a great day yesterday. We had the time trial. Both Mike and Victor rode really well on an extremely technical course. But what an opportunity! It's been great being here, great life experience, but also just fantastic for these guys to rub shoulders with the pinnacle of the sport. Really, just the pros. Watch them learn, etc. So it's been great all round. We're currently just building for the road race, which is this Sunday. So if you have some time, everyone tune in and try and get a glimpse of our athletes as they, take to the course and ride with, as I said, the best of the best. So it's a great opportunity. We've got Victor and Mike here, so let Mike say a few words, maybe give a little bit of a report on the race, how the race went yesterday. But yeah, just great all round. It's been a fantastic experience. So thank you very much for the opportunity, Dan, Ed, Sika. It's been great. And then, of course, the Olympic Committee for making this all possible. We're just really grateful, and it's been fantastic.
Awesome.
All right, thanks, Gareth.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having us. And, I'd like to echo what Gareth said. Thank you to the Olympic Committee for giving us the opportunity. Yeah, as Gareth said, the race yesterday was absolutely amazing. The crowds were unbelievable. They learned all of our names and were chanting our names. So, having hundreds of people chant your names, it gives you that extra boost and unbelievable experience. And yeah, from beginning to end, it's just been a great experience to be here. Both Gareth and Ken have been instrumental in kind of keeping us on track and kind of supporting us on each of the rides. So no, it's been good, and it's also been nice to ride with both Victor and Nat, given we don't all live in the same place, and being able to catch up with them. But yeah, we're all ready for the road race coming up, and looking forward to it. Tune in.
Okay. Will all of your cyclists be participating in the road race?
Yes, that's right. All three of us will be doing the road race on Sunday.
Yep. Yeah, and obviously we've all been looking forward to seeing you guys chop it up with some of the big names. I know there's a lot of pro riders there. Who from the kind of world of cycling are you guys competing against?
Yeah, so a lot of them are actually in the dining hall when we go there. So you have the likes of Rowan Dennis, Cavendish, and a few others.
Geraint Thomas as well.
Geraint Thomas, Ethan Hayter. So yeah, there's some heavy hitters that have just come off the Tour de France. So it'll be quite tricky to keep up with them, but we'll obviously do our best.
Yeah. And
we were kind of speaking about the exposure before, and we know you're among the best, but I don't know what has the exposure been like for you guys so far, especially and for the younger ones like Victor and Nathaniel. But even for yourself, Michael, I think you've been to Commonwealth before, but what has the exposure been like? 'Cause it's one thing to ride and compete, but when you do it at a certain level and see the people around you, how does that feel for them? Or maybe Victor can speak.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll let Victor chime in on how he thinks exposure is. But yeah, I mean, I think we all always learn at all of these events. I mean, in terms of kind of learning from others who are clearly kind of more experienced than you. And one kind of big takeaway from each of the games that I've been to is that they're very friendly and how everyone's super relaxed, always willing to help. But obviously, everyone's riding their own race, but everyone always still makes the time to chat about what they're doing, how they're approaching the race, what strategies they're deploying, how they found the course. And I think it's important as a rider to always have an open mind to kind of meet people and learn from them. And that's kind of how I've approached each and every opportunity.
And just to add to that, so obviously Victor and Nathaniel are getting this exposure at such a young age. It's really a good springboard for them and the rest of their cycling careers. So.
Yeah, Nathaniel's only 20 years old, so right, and he's already had 3 years of competition under his belt. And what's awesome, I remember Nathaniel telling me a story in Guadeloupe. He was chatting to a guy, and I was like, "Oh, did you just meet him?" He goes, "No, I've been competing against him for 3 years." So they see the same people at the same games, and they all come up together in kind of the same age group. So they actually build friends as well, and kind of camaraderies throughout the nation and the region.
I was going to ask about that. What are the opportunities for networking, over there as well, and inquiring about, the possibilities of, going to other jurisdictions, training with other teams, getting the exposure. We're seeing now, for instance, that some African countries and other countries as well, that they're starting to produce quality riders that are competing in even in the Tour de France. Are there any opportunities over there for networking?
Oh yeah, massively. And every game, as you say, you meet the same people, and some people who maybe compete at one games or maybe coaching at the next. So I mean, I'm quite close with the Guernsey team, the Gibraltar team. We're now sharing a tent with the Mauritius team, who are kind of all ex-pros. So it's quite nice to kind of develop those relationships over a period of 4 to 8 years, and you may not see them all the time, but you're, as you say, there's experiences that are coming up. For example, Guernsey is holding the Island Games next time, so they'll be kind of amicable to hosting us and kind of giving us the rundown on the courses and inviting us to different races. So these games are quite an amazing opportunity to, I think, foster these relationships so that you can, for example, get invited to these kind of these races that they're hosting. And most of the guys on these teams are pros, so they'll obviously have connections to teams that they're riding for, and we can obviously have connections to our benefit to kind of bring all of the riders from Cayman up to scratch. So I mean, definitely a massive opportunity to network at each and every one of these games. And as I said, as long as the riders approach it with an open mind, which everyone is, then I think it's a great opportunity to meet people.
Yeah, and I have to echo that, and just to add to that, actually, I think also, the networking is what you make of it, right? And I personally have been talking to everyone, and the good thing about the momentum that we have as SEEK at the moment is we have a nice race coming up towards the end of the year. So anyone that's within our region, I'm letting them know that we have the Cayman Cup coming up, and it's really been well received. There's a lot of interest, and so just as much as we can travel elsewhere, it's also about bringing tourism, bringing interest to our islands, right? This is our first year, so I'm making it abundantly clear that it's the first year, and we may not be able to provide the support that they may need to come, but certainly as we grow the event, grow the sport in Cayman, we'd be looking to attract those caliber of athletes to come to our shores and race with our guys, which again will just make our cyclists stronger and promote our islands, which is great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we have to go to a commercial break. I don't know if you guys want to stay on the line or if you finished with your conversation.
Not sure
if
Ken or Victor want to have a few words before we go.
Yeah, what we'll do is we'll ask them to hold on. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we return, we will continue the conversation with them. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Hi, I'm remodeling our bathroom. I have a few questions.
Sure.
What are some ideas to make my bathroom feel larger? How do I know if I'm picking the right vanity? How do I choose a new toilet or a new countertop? Also, the lighting is terrible. Can I put a window or a skylight? And do I really need an exhaust fan?
You've come to the right place. At Brand Source, we custom design kitchen and baths, and our talented design team can help answer your questions. Whether you're looking for a modern, functional family bathroom or a luxurious personal retreat, we'll help create that beautiful space that makes your home yours. And if you're in a rush for a new look and have a limited budget, our ready-to-install bathroom vanities, built with solid wood and countertops of the finest materials, are a quick and easy remodeling solution.
For the very best in custom-designed kitchens and baths, visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, Cayman's Kitchen and Bath Center.
As a general rule, your septic tank should be pumped out by a professional every 3 years. During hurricane season, however, it is important to keep your septic tank at least partially full to keep it from floating or collapsing during a storm. For more useful hurricane preparedness tips, visit the Water Authority's website at www.waterauthority.ky or follow us on social media.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
Since March 2004, West Bay Pharmacy has kept their doors open to the local communities, even before, during, and after Hurricane Ivan. At West Bay Pharmacy, our staff provides so much more than pharmaceutical excellence. From the moment you walk through our doors to completing your cash out, our staff will have put your healthcare concerns at ease. We would like to take this moment to thank our loyal friends and customers. To us at West Bay Pharmacy, our patients are our primary concern. We provide thorough background checks and precise calculations to ensure your medical safety. Thank you for being a part of our family and for choosing West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, President of the Cayman Islands Cycling Association, Mr. Daniel Cummings, Secretary, Mr. Edward Harper, and on the line, we have our cycling contingent at the Commonwealth Games. Gentlemen, over there, the mic is in your hands.
Yeah, thank you very much, OT. So we've got both Victor and Nathaniel with us. Nathaniel's just arrived back from a ride, so he's a little bit out of breath. With the fiddle, so he's doing just fine. But yeah, over to you, Nat.
Morning, Nathaniel. How are you?
Morning, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Morning,
Nathaniel. Yeah, I'm doing good over here too.
How was the ride? Did you get to ride some of the course? Do a little recon?
Yeah, I did a little bit of recon this morning with Victor. He knows the course. What else? Yeah, I did 30 miles today.
Okay. And
it was pretty decent.
And how do you find training in Cayman when you go to like a place like that where obviously the roads are different and the hills are different? How do you think now that you've got there that your training in Cayman can prepare you for something like that?
The roads here are just it's real different. It's a lot of up and down. Some parts are very slow. It's rough. In some parts you have dirt, blind corners everywhere. So to compare it with Cayman, it's a bit different, you know.
Yeah.
Cayman, the roads are superb, you know.
I've always said that we're spoiled for roads in Cayman when we go away and ride sometimes. And we were recently in Guadeloupe, and man, it makes Cayman roads look like they're carpeted. Like it was gorgeous, and it's always amazing to see kind of Nat and Victor when coming from a place in Cayman that's flat and going to these places and the skill they have to just adapt to those roads and conditions. I mean, as we were talking about earlier, you saw even the top pros in the world were coming off on that course yesterday in Birmingham.
Yes,
so you've got obstacles, you've got speed bumps, you've got turns, you've got different types of pavement, hills, corners, road furniture, anything you can think of. And so good on you guys for really getting on there.
Nathaniel, while you're still on there, for those who may be listening, who may have an interest in getting involved in cycling, can you tell us what piqued your interest? How did you get involved in cycling, and how has the association been instrumental in moving your career along?
So, yeah, I decided to try cycling back in 2018. I used to do spinning, but then I decided to level up and purchase a road bike from June, and started to race every year. They had May Classics, Nationals. I would do that, and as I excelled, the association, of course, got me the best equipment that I can use when I go overseas and stuff, and the rest has been history. Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
I believe not. Did you not start as part of the Duke of Edinburgh Award? Was there? That was some involvement there, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I think that's the challenge we're always gonna have, is finding the next Nathaniel and Victor. You know, Nathaniel kind of came to us more by chance, and Victor transitioned from running. But that's one of the challenges, to kind of tie it all back and get more Nathaniel and Victor's on the phone here at international competitions by having kids realize that this is a sport that can take them places, and
they're out there. They're out there. It's just a matter of finding them
and give them opportunities. Funny enough, I was talking to when we were in Guadeloupe about this. Athletics obviously doesn't have that issue. They have a lot of kids coming through, but one of the guys who's the coach is involved with the PE in the local schools, and we were talking to him about just showing up to a PE class with a bike and saying, having Nathaniel come on, because Nathaniel's obviously the poster boy for local Caymanian involvement. Someone that wasn't a monetary thing that got him in there. It was an excitement, a sport support that helped him get there, and now he's competing at the highest level, and he's recognized as a real emerging talent, in the Caribbean, and along with Victor and Michael, who's been at a high level for the longest time. And it's funny because it's three completely different origin stories, yet they're together at the same games, being there and getting more of those success stories is really what we want to do. So.
So, gentlemen over there, anything else you want to say before you leave us?
Yeah, guys, that's okay. We have Victor here.
I don't know
if you want to ask Victor a few words if we have time.
Sure. Let's hear it from Victor. Yes.
Okay. Cool. Over to you, Victor.
Morning, Victor. How are you?
Morning, Victor.
Morning, guys.
How are you doing? How has the experience been so far? I know you've it's not your first time traveling, but I think it probably would be the biggest event that you've been to.
Stage for
or
sure.
Stage for sure. How has the experience been like so far?
It's significantly bigger than the previous ones. We had the Guadeloupe in the Caribbean Games last month, and a few other tunes up since last year. So this is quite certainly surpassed the level of competition from regional to a more international stage.
Okay, and you can see, I guess you would be learning like everybody else from being there. Anything you can say so far that you have as a takeaway that you can say with being to the Commonwealth, you can take back with you and to help you make you a better rider or make you stronger?
Yeah, there's been overall stuff to move forward with, and certainly the experience to carry this through to this next season for the competitions that await in the region as well.
It's exciting. Yeah.
By the way, Victor also has a brother that competes for Cayman, so he medaled in the Caribbean Games for gymnastics.
Yeah,
right?
and he's also at the Commonwealth. Igor, you may have seen him on a couple rides.
Yes,
he's there. So I'm not It can't happen too often where two brothers represent the same country at Commonwealth level. So congrats to both of them.
Both of them. So I'm not sure if Igor is at Commonwealth too, but
he is there. Yeah,
he's there. Okay, I know he was at the Caribbean Games.
I think he made the final of the all-around as well. So,
okay.
So yeah, they're both competing at a really high level, and as OC said, I think that talent out there. It's just putting in the right programs and initiatives to help us find the next Victor, Nat, and Michael.
Yes.
Well, enjoy, gentlemen. I know when you come back, we will try and create those opportunities for you to tell your story, and
we'll look out for you on Sunday.
And continue to be good ambassadors. Gareth, keep up the good work, and all the best, gentlemen, on the race Sunday.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thanks, guys.
I believe we do have another caller on hold. Let's grab that caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record. Yes, we're hearing you, but we're getting an echo.
Well, hello there.
Yes. Good morning.
Morning. Just a few things on the bicycle thing, or cycling thing. I'm sure, I think most of us are aware that cycling has always had a very high interest in Cayman, especially amongst youngsters. There used to be cycling races between West Bay and Georgetown, between the Salis Bay which is right in the vicinity of the four-way stop in West Bay, and Mr. Arvis Smith's Tamarind Tree, which I believe is still there. And usually at that point, there was two calabashes, one with a little Macadee and one with some water and lemonade. And cycling also during the regatta years, the regatta periods it was a competition in cycling within the regatta span right after World War II. I think prior to World War II, there was not that many bicycles in Cayman, but after post-war, the Rudges and the rallies and all those things came in. But interesting program, and I think a lot more coverage on it could be done, and maybe that would spur some of the interest, getting some of the stories of the races between West Bay and Georgetown with Steve Wattler, and I believe even maybe Steve-O might have been involved in some of those things, and the Devil from West Bay, I think he might have been involved in some of those races.
Okay, good to know.
So it's interesting, and as I say, Cayman has always been interested in cycling, and one of the items that they had in that regatta cycling competition was the slow race. And this was after the rallies and the Rudges and the other, can't remember, the two Hoppers, I think was another cycle name, came into Cayman. But and that was usually done on a downhill, little whatever hills we had in West Bay, and uphill, maybe 100-yard course. And it was the one that could keep the wheels turning and still and the last one to reach the destination, but you had to keep the wheels turning, and it was a matter of balancing the bicycles with the brakes and all this kind of stuff. But interesting. So just a little bit of history on cycling here in Cayman.
Thank you very much, caller, for that. Gentlemen, I know we had you scheduled to leave at 9 o'clock, but if you can indulge us, we would like you to stay on. There's so much more to talk about. We haven't even touched the tip of the iceberg yet. Right. We want to talk about local cycling, not only cycling from a competitive level, but talk about cycling in general, road safety in Cayman, because there's so many people are concerned about that. And of course, we have to train on our roads here. We have nowhere else to train, and how we can go about making cycling much safer. What will the Cycling Association be doing as far as advocacy is concerned, for cycling as well? Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The 7-day rolling average of positive COVID-19 cases in the Cayman Islands as of Thursday has fallen from 41 to 32. Public Health says there are currently 9 patients in the hospital. Taiwan's foreign minister has defended U.S. Speaker Nancy Pelosi's brief but controversial trip to the island in an exclusive interview with the BBC. Joseph Wu condemned the large-scale military exercises that China began around the island on Thursday. He said Ms. Pelosi's visit was, quote, extremely significant. China's response would not stop Democratic politicians being invited to Taipei. Mr. Wu also warned that China's territorial aims go far beyond Taiwan. And Russian forces at Europe's largest nuclear power plant in Ukraine are employing, quote, terror tactics by using the site to launch rockets on civilians. A local businessman told the BBC, quote, every morning we wake up and see that they have hit only residential homes. Russia controls the plant and surrounding areas close to Ukrainian-held territory. Western officials have sounded the alarm about Russia's tactics there. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, we have the president of Cayman Cycling Association, Mr. Daniel Cummins, the secretary, Mr. Edward Harper. Earlier, we were speaking with the members of the cycling contingent at the Commonwealth Games as well, and we want to wish them well. It certainly will be a learning experience, for them. And just, my personal comment on this, that, we're a small country, small island, population of a little over 71,000 persons. And it's not easy to find champions in especially when it comes to some individual sports and stuff like that. So very often we see, our swimmers, or track and field athletes or cyclists go off and they come back and they say, well, it was a good experience. It was a learning experience for me. I was able to exceed my personal best, which are all accomplishments and milestones. But at some point in time, Cayman is looking to have a world champion somewhere.
Absolutely.
Is that attainable?
In the individual sports, I think there's actually, and Ed can chip in on this because he's been around cycling at a higher level for a lot longer than I have. But my personal belief from being involved in sport in a lot of times is exactly what you said. It's a population density question. Mm-hmm. You look at, say, football. The U.S. has 400 million people to choose a 23-man squad from. How do we, as a 71,000, pick and yes. That's nothing against the Cayman talent, because individually we've had players playing at the highest levels, even back in the days of Lee Ramoon and Michael Wilkes that were playing, in Germany and the UK, and guys that have come up all for fear of name dropping and missing anyone, everyone that's represented Cayman has done so at a high level. But from a team perspective, it's very hard. And so that's why when you look at the sports that we have traditionally done well at, athletics, swimming, cycling, the individual sports, it's a lot easier to find a world champion. And I think, with the things that we're doing, exposing our athletes to levels at competitions at the levels they're talking about, they see where they need to get to. And by raising our profile in the region and internationally, not just at the conferences and the networking we were talking about, but, the world's digital. So making sure that everything we do is on social and things are there, that helps breed opportunities. The World Body for Cycling, the UCI, has developed a training center in Switzerland that you can register for your athletes to go there, and they can stay there for 8 months, up to 8 months, and learn from the best coaches in the world and train and race. And we were just talking about it before we got here. Bermuda, who's a nation of a similar size, their guys came 11th, 15th, and 16th in the time trial in the Commonwealth, which is amazing to have their 3 members so close. But all of those guys ride on continental teams, Spain and Italy, and you know, they get to train at a high level. So I think it's something we can definitely get to. It's just going to take kind of more of doing what we're doing, between the networking, the recognition of the level you need to compete at, as well as just kind of a sustained program of initiatives. You mentioned the Africa nation before, Biram Garai from Eritrea.
Yes.
Nobody had even heard of Eritrea before. I mean, African cycling before was a lot of the bigger nations. It was Kenya. Chris Froome was from Kenya. South Africa, traditionally the big nations that way. But that they got in through, I think Biram actually first was in the under 23, and they got in through a development spot that the UCI was granted, and a bunch of solidarity programs that were help funded by world organizations and things like that. So it's time, but it's also political is maybe the wrong word, but there is a pecking order, and you have to kind of be there, and being at these games and liaising and having opportunities. When we were in Argentina for the Pan American Cycling Championships, they had a President's Congress. So talking with all those guys at that level, that yielded things, and just being able to continue to do that, I think we can definitely get that. I actually believe we've already had a world champion, a junior track world champion. Back in the 80s, it was Michael, his name escapes me right now, but I think Michael Vernon.
Oh, yes, yeah.
I think he actually won a gold medal at the junior track world championships back in the 90s. Maybe somebody can.
Was that in Philadelphia or someplace? I
thought
remember.
It was in Cuba or
Cuba?
Cuba,
yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah,
but
he was a prodigy of Mr. Gray.
He was. So I think we can definitely get there again. I mean, these guys are already riding at such a high level from being at such a small nation with a relatively young, from a maturity standpoint, cycling association and cycling culture. But I have no doubt that we can get there. Just take a bit of time.
Can we talk a little bit about BMX cycling? We know, for instance, there are athletes now who are involved in road racing, track, who are either coming from dirt bike or from BMX. And Daniel, you spoke earlier about that, talking about possibilities of setting up a track here in the Cayman Islands. I also know that was, one of the projects that the former president of the association, Craig Marin, certainly had an interest in as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's obviously, we're talking about the pathways and getting, participation. BMX is the largest, from a cycling discipline, the largest participation discipline in cycling right now. Obviously, it's big with kids. It's now Olympic from both the freestyle kind of tricks and the racing. There's several different styles of racing, different styles of tracks, and it's huge. USA BMX has just built a $14 million facility in Tulsa as their headquarters. And that was one of the things that came from these networkings, was with talking with the head of USA Cycling at Pan Am. We ended up getting in touch with the head of the USA BMX, and they're willing to help out with track design and just help cycling in general. And yeah, I mean, that's one of those initiatives that will hopefully we kind of take it out of luck's hands to find the next youth and kind of do that. And that creates multiple opportunities, because if we have this BMX program and someone's good at BMX, we can keep them on that pathway and send them towards Olympic regional success. If we say, all right, well, maybe they've got great leg speed but not good at the jumps, maybe then they transition over to road cycling or track or something like that. So yeah, absolutely. And it to kind of bring it back around as well, where we were talking about, one of the barriers was safety, the kind of road safety, and obviously the BMX creates a great example because it's a closed area that no cars are going to come on, but that's not going to be for everyone. So simultaneously, while we're talking about putting in these programs to find the next world champion, there's one world champion, but there's 500 people cycling on a daily basis. Yes. So to kind of transition into that, I think, and a lot of those people, it's those people's kids that are going to be making up these next series of world champions. So making sure that we tackle cycling in a holistic view, not just from international competitions and youth and women's development, but also from the cycling community standpoint, which I know you're passionate about yourself. We all ride together and we all want to make it to work that day. So figuring out how we can kind of champion both initiatives is something we're really passionate about.
So,
sure, go right ahead.
One of the things, is really touching on some of what Daniel said already, but just from a different angle. So, as you rightly said, the BMX project is something Craig has been passionate about for years, and is one of the things that we want to try and do. But the BMX program, the first thing about it, which I've told Daniel, is we need to find a way that we can create the safest environment for kids to ride. And I mean, some people think BMX, maybe they're looking on what is being done in BMX, but not the fact that you can gather kids in a small area and you can start there. Because with BMX, kids going to learn all of the fundamentals with riding, and there's so much to be learned, and that's why they transition so well. And I'll let you know, Trinidad they don't have a BMX track, but what they have done for years is they would have parks and have kids riding BMX bikes from very young. And I mean, we're talking same running tracks, even grass tracks. And they got to the point where they would have these kids riding and having them wear cycling shoes and clipping into BMX bikes just to get them. But their goal was eventually to get into track cycling, not so much BMX. Yeah. But they took the kids who started riding these small bikes and then moved them from doing the BMX bikes, turn them into like fixed wheel bikes and get them on the track. And eventually they have kept moving in the direction until they have built their own track. But then look at it now. Nicholas Paul from Trinidad has won a gold at the Commonwealth. He's also, I believe, he was at the UCI Training Center. So there are two ways to get into the UCI Training Center. You can pay your own way, I mean, for some, and then you can try to develop and then lobby to get a spot, and then they will grant what is like a scholarship. But you have to be riding at a particular level, and you have to be supported along the way to do it, because so many countries want that opportunity. It's a scholarship. Like any other scholarship, a lot of people are bidding for it. But when you say that, if the same question was asked to Trinidad, and Trinidad were to say yes, maybe 5-10 years ago, some people would be like, well, it might sound like a pipe dream, but they had to keep ensuring that the program that they set up, the next association kept with the same program, and it has
sustainability.
Was sustainable, because they did not go. They've been participating at the track level, but Jamaica at one point was way more dominant, and in some people's minds they still think themselves as dominant. But since then, Trinidad has kept going along a particular path, and it has been strategic. The government of the Ministry of Sports, along with the Federation, have kept and said, well, this is going to be our plan. And they're reaping the rewards from that. I mean, one guy has gotten 3 medals so far at the Commonwealth Games. That used to happen back in the days, I'm not saying no, but since we have had professional cyclists being involved in the sport, that does not happen regularly. Seeing a Caribbean person on the podium. Yeah. So we want to kind of use that and say, well, it's already a blueprint with somebody else. There's no reason, and I think if we do it the right way, we can get it done.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break. I have a few WhatsApp messages that I will share with you when we return. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom-designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vamt Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vamt Motors, Walkers Road.
Are you an aspiring journalist or university graduate interested in a career in journalism or broadcasting? Then the Ministry of Tourism and Transport's Shadow a Journalist essay competition is for you. Contest winners will get the chance to shadow international journalists covering the CTO conference and Caribbean Aviation Day at the Ritz-Carlton from the 12th to the 15th of September. Submit your essay by August 21st to enter. For full competition details, log on to gov.ky or email pr.mott@gov.ky.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Mr. Daniel Cummins, the president of Cayman Cycling Association, and Mr. Edward Harper, the secretary of the association as well. One of our listeners has written in and said, good morning. Please also remember Mr. Craig Marin, his brother, and Mr. Michelle Smith, who were also Cayman Cycling Olympians. Also, please ask your guests on their thoughts on Cayman designating proper and safe bicycling lanes on major roads and also enforcing them. More people would ride their bicycles for exercise and even go to and from work if they felt safe from some speeding or reckless vehicle drivers.
I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right, and anybody who's ridden their bike for more than 5 minutes has probably realized that point, acutely, that a lot of time cyclists are kind of seen as second-class citizens on the road, and to the point of the bike lanes. I mean, I think especially the newer roads, there is definitely the bike lanes there, but as we've talked about, it's the respect for those bike lanes that is maybe the issue, not the white lines on the road. It's the debris that's in the road that makes it hard to ride there and unsafe. It's the drivers kind of being very close, and to their point, there is actually in other countries they have laws on the books that protect cyclists. I think it's a 1.5 meter rule in the UK where a police can actually ticket somebody for not respecting this. But we'll definitely be looking at this acutely as an issue to maybe try to get some laws on the books to protect cyclists. But again, it's always going to be incumbent on the community at large to respect somebody. I mean, I always say, if that, to tease, if that was your son, would you be that close to to them, or would you want to kind of beep them when you're coming, or have such a close call that you can tell what the guy driving the car had for breakfast, and we've all been there. We've all had those close calls, and we know of people that have been hit by drivers, not maliciously, even just. And I think, part of it is just kind of not respecting, or just thinking that, cycling is kind of secondary to a car, but also
we don't belong on the road sometimes, that thought.
But also I think, the people also don't realize that even at recreational cycling, the speeds we can travel at are high. And I think a lot of times cars just can't judge the fact that we're traveling at 25 miles an hour, and they don't understand that relationship between what a casual cyclist has maybe in a road, the difference between that and a road cyclist that's on a bike that's going. But absolutely, and I mean, you've been on, you yourself will know, we do our best to police ourselves as well. If somebody wouldn't dare show up without a helmet or without lights in the morning, and you make sure that we do our best. But it's a two-way street, for lack of a better pun. But if it would be lovely if we could have those sort of conversations in the future to really put some laws on the books that can be enforced and really create a cycling community. Because, as you said, we've got 3 guys racing, but on any given day there's a couple hundred people on the road, groups in the morning that are all over the place, and a large cycling community of people that aren't interested in racing, but are very interested in riding their bike for fitness, for fun, for enjoyment, for camaraderie, for all the various things. So
one of the things what I think we can also try to do is help to provide more education even for our cyclists and the commuters, and maybe we can use our social platforms to send that out. I've told Daniel already, even we may try and do 1 or 2 seminars, not just on safety, but there are other things that we want to do, even to have cyclists become more up to speed with the rules, how to help officiate. But you have to understand the rules of the road as well, if it is that you're going to assist with that, and try and get more of that out there, because our cyclists also need the education, and as much as and I do ride my bike, and I've had those close calls, but at the same time we do have cyclists that makes the life of a driver frustrating.
Yes,
it would be remiss of me to not mention it and act like we are all on the road riding the way we should be riding. So there are many cyclists that could do better, and I think we should also try to ensure that those who could do better do better. That being said, it's I don't think it's any different from anywhere else where the minority will always make it hard for the majority. And if the drivers on the road don't actually appreciate or respect that you're allowed to be in a certain area of the road, then the frustration starts even in an area when it shouldn't. We ride bicycles that can't ride on the sidewalks, but some of the times I believe when motorists are coming, they just believe that if we are on the road, we just should not be there. There is only so far left you can go. And I don't support that, cyclists riding in the middle of the road, which can happen. But at the same time, even when you are as close as you can be without any bicycle lanes, there's nowhere else to go. The bicycles are designed to ride in the road. And so on both sides, and I believe that there can be some education around it. People have been taking up the sport more, especially during COVID. It provided a way for people to get their exercise. So there are quite a few more people who are riding bikes. So that being said, more people could just be on the road also that don't appreciate the use of the road. We went through a period there was way less traffic, but things have opened up. So we all know that the traffic is back, and so we have to share the road more, and that education with how we can share it better will just go a long way for safety.
Yeah, and the road code does allow cyclists to ride two abreast when the conditions are suitable, for that it does allow that. What I find also, two observations that I would make is that if you've ridden a bike on the road, then you have a better appreciation when you're behind the wheel of a vehicle as to what that cyclist is experiencing, out there as well. And I also find now that in our cycling early in the mornings, we have been able to develop a sort of rapport with some of the drivers who are out there early heading to work. They will honk their horn and acknowledge you because they know the groups and stuff like that. That has helped, somewhat also.
Yeah. Or that could just be because you're popular OC. Everybody knows you in the morning.
I don't get many people honking their horn at me, unfortunately. No, it's good.
Okay, so let's take another commercial break. We're going to go right up until 10 o'clock talking with you gentlemen, if you don't mind at all. We're going to continue to talk. I want to talk about the future of the association, some of your visions, some of the goals that you're seeking to accomplish. We know that the Olympic Association, as well as the government, they're throwing their support, behind you as well. And let's talk about those working relationships that you have as well. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. No one can stop me when I taste the feel. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
JN Money touchdown. Send the money now. Reach wow. You say you need some money. JN Money, I can send it in a hurry. Get through quick when you come collect your cash, or use your money card and swipe it in a flash. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah. Send and receive funds at any JN Money location. It's fast, affordable, and convenient. Money touchdown with JN Money. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah.
Call 345-945-2014 for details. Available at JN Money locations across the Cayman Islands.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the people's station. Your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
Move with us, Cayman. Fidelity Bank is now Proven Bank. We will continue to serve you with the banking services that you've come to rely on, while moving you to another level of banking experience that you deserve. As members of the Proven Group, Proven Bank keeps your life and money moving. Learn about the Proven difference yourself at provenbank.com. Move with us. We are Proven.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We still have about half an hour left in the show. Mr. Harper has to leave us early, so we are going to let him have a little more control of the mic before he leaves, and then he can say his goodbyes as well. Edward.
Oh, no, well, sorry, I have to leave a little early, OC, and really appreciate you, giving us the opportunity to speak, and Daniel can always touch on it before we leave.
Sure.
So we as this Cayman Cycling right now is really trying to boost things a bit, and we're really thankful for the support that we've received so far. there are many persons, more than I can mention, because I've only been here a few years, that have contributed so much to cycling in Cayman, and we will welcome all of them to come and share those stories. Sometimes I know Craig knows stories for all of us, but I think maybe one of the things we could try and do is organize maybe an opportunity for some of these persons who still are in the communities, who have ridden before, to come and talk to our new cyclists. Many of them won't be able to appreciate the stories. I mean, you have Nathaniel race in the last 3 years. He just wasn't. I mean, he wasn't born when some of these stories happened. Yeah. So, but there are people there, and I don't think he's against listening to them and wouldn't be interested in it. So maybe it's something that we can look on to see how we can get a platform for those persons to meet and tell them. And we are also looking into how we can show recognition to those who have contributed so far in the community and in the past. Yes. And that's also a part of how we're going to move forward. Not just looking on now, but also saying thanks to those who were there before. At the end of the day, we just want to put whatever we can into growing the sport. The persons who are there in the sport, who are capable of helping and willing to help, we are definitely open to it. And I am committed to doing my part, just like Daniel is, to getting that done. We have some sponsors that have already come on board. Great. With the association, some that have committed to assisting the association for the next 3 years already. And maybe Daniel can speak more into those details. But, things like that, we know we already touched on earlier that it's an expensive sport. So it's difficult if each time when you need something, you have to go to someone to get either like a check to do something. Because it's hard to plan, and we know that this is not a sprint. It's actually going to be a long distance race if we're looking to develop these guys the right way. So partners and in the sport, outside of the Olympic Association, which has supported us very well. So I must say thanks to them, because they've been extremely supportive so far. From organizing to funding, even, giving us pointers in the right direction. Many thanks to them. But we know that the support we need will far exceed what they're able to give us. And, our local partners that are already there and the others that we're looking to approach, we're going to need their help if we're going to help these young riders and create the programs that we are going to be trying to do to bring in the younger ones into the sport and make it sustainable.
What about the regional bodies? We know that Cayman, because of our per capita, that sometimes we are squeezed out of getting assistance from organizations. Say, you're in the Cayman Islands, you're rich, but even if we can't get financial support, the technical advice, the technical support that is that available, as well. And if you've had an opportunity to look at some of the regional bodies, we know in certain instances that old heads get entrenched in there, and it's very difficult, extremely difficult to change the culture in there. And do we need to see some changes, within regional organizations as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's, just like any sport, there's varying levels of organization. I mean, the first level above us is the Caribbean Cycling Federation, and that is obviously just the Caribbean nations. Then above that is COPAC, which is the Pan American, which encompasses everything from North America to South America. And then above that is the UCI, which is the world governing body. On the regional and Pan American level, there isn't really, from what I understand, very much financial support. If you go to a games, then usually the host country provides food and meals and housing and things like that at that level. But that's for more on an event level than a programs initiative. Most of the support, if you did reach externally from your own country, would be to a world body. With the UCI, countries are ranked in the various designations, so you have everything from 1 through 4, and depending on where you are on that depends on how much level of solidarity, they call it, you get. Basically, the 1 and 2 nations are usually your big nations, your USA in this region, Canada, Mexico, financially, very, very large countries. And then your 3 and 4 nations are your smaller nations or underdeveloped nations that get more support. But it's there isn't a set formula from what I understand, and I did actually ask about this because the Cayman Islands, we're grouped into Group 2, and I think that has a lot to do with our GDP. Yes. So we basically get no support from the international community. But the one of the things I had mentioned is you can't just look at our GDP. You have to look at the investment in sport within our GDP. I mean, our GDP is $3.4 billion, but our investment of sport is, especially for cycling, would be 0.00001% of our GDP. So you can't just look at singular factors alone. Obviously there are many sports in Cayman that do get a lot more financial support than cycling, and I'm not saying that we should. Obviously the level of participation in those sports is way higher than in cycling, but I think that's just a re-education now. But again, being that said, there are sports that are large, that receive a lot of funding, that don't compete at the levels that we're able to compete at. So I think there just needs to be a realignment of that kind of the way that support is. But until that comes, as Ed said, the success of us is going to be with our partnerships, and a lot of that is going to have to come from local and companies and people, for whether that's support of time, whether that's support of goods, or whether that's financial support. We did actually just, as Ed said, sign an agreement with a company to support the national team, all the equipment for the national team for the next 3 years. So that's worth about $25,000 in sponsorship. So
I'll get you one bicycle.
So, but all that's important, and not everybody that's involved in the sport is going to be able to support themselves. I think, a lot of people that do ride are, that it's definitely a large portion of it is people that are financially comfortable, that can buy their own bikes and buy their own gear, but it's not always, it's not always like that. I mean, a great example, Nathaniel, was at the Pan Am Games. We were coming, we were only about 25 miles from the finish. He had done all the climbing, was up there with the best in the region, and was involved in a crash that wasn't his fault. Bike broke in half. I reached out to a couple people, and a local company, Tricor, offered to replace his bike, and by the time I had come back from Argentina, I was bringing back a new bike. So, and Nathaniel's riding that bike today, and he was extremely grateful for that. And we're not always going to have that type of opportunity. But I think, to Ed's point, instead of saying, "Oh, can you sponsor us for this trip? Can you do this? Can we have $50 here?" is working with people that are investing in the sport and in the community, because we're not a for-profit. We are actually a registered nonprofit. We're not out here to make money and have expensive bicycles just sitting around. But what we do need is equipment that maybe is a bit above and beyond some other sports. When we go away on trips, other sports, and I actually saw this as a comment on the Commonwealth Games in general. Somebody said, "Well, why are there so many officials going on this trip?" There was like 20 athletes and 14 officials. But I think, again, to Ed's point, it's part of that education. I mean, just for cycling alone, if you have 3 athletes, really you need ideally you would want 3 people. If you have someone driving and that person, they need to feed the cyclist out the car. The person can't be driving and handing bottles out. So again, it's just this re-education of what it takes to create, to your point earlier, these world champions is, we can't do that on a shoestring budget, and we can't do that by cutting corners. And we don't want to say, oh, that's good for Cayman. We want to be good for the world. And, that's where our aspirations lie. And, but to do that, we need the support of both government and the kind of local community. So we'll hopefully be reaching out, and hopefully people are receptive.
Great. And just as a final point to that, the support, we're not just looking to reach out. We've developed a plan, like a strategic plan. That plan has been sent to the Olympic Committee. A 4-year plan. And it's a plan that we will look to improve on as well as other things. Because we also recognize, too, that the Cycling Association, we have to look at it like trying to run a business. So we are trying to run this business in a more professional way. And like any business, it needs to be marketed well. You need to show strategically what your direction is going to be. There are people who may be fine if we take up the phone and let them know that this is what we're planning to do. But there are others we have to recognize that may need to take that as a proposal, bring it to their board of directors. So we have to ensure that we put ourselves in the best position to approach anyone, whether it be at a government level, at a private organization level. So these are things that we're working on the background. It's not just now seeing how we can, again, just talk about it, but there's legwork going on. But fortunate enough, the team so far has been doing a good job, and we know that there's still a lot that needs to happen into the background to get us where we're going. But I think we're moving in the right direction.
Okay, so while you have the mic, we're going to take one more commercial break, but you may want to leave before that. So any final comments that you want to make?
Just thanks again for the opportunity, OC. Thanks again to all the sponsors that have been involved with cycling so far, Tricor and Catalyst. Definitely thanks to the Olympic Association for all their support, and many thanks to the young men who are in Birmingham now, doing their best. Have a road, best of luck for them on Sunday, and I hope to talk to you again soon. Okay.
Take care. If not, I'll see you on the road.
See you on the road.
Folks, we're going to take our last commercial break. Please stay tuned. When we return, want to find out from Mr. Daniel Cummins what's next on the agenda. I think he spoke earlier about the Island Games as well, and we talk a little bit about that. So please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
JN Money touchdown. Send the money now. Reach wow. You say you need some money. JN Money, I can send it in a hurry. Get through quick when you come collect your cash, or use a money card and swipe it in a flash. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah. Send and receive funds at any JN Money location. It's fast, affordable, and convenient. Money touchdown with JN Money. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah.
Call 345-945-2014 for details. Available at JN Money locations across the Cayman Islands.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
JN Money presents the official Jamaica 60th Independence Celebrations on Friday, August 5th at the Lion Center. Featuring from Jamaica, General Degree. Alongside Erica Asai, Leroy Evans, Rose Gold, Dream Chasers dancers, and much more. There will be kids talent contest, best dress, and a dancing contest. Lots of prizes and giveaways, plus the best Jamaican food all day long. Health fair from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. where you can get your PSA, diabetes, and blood pressure checked for free. Music by DJ Bengal and MC Lady T. Don't miss the Jamaica Independence Celebrations Friday, August 5th at the Lion Center, featuring General Degree. Admission is absolutely free. Sponsored by Kingston 62, Best Dressed Chicken, Popeyes, Royal Medical, Kmart Discount Store, People's Choice Grocery, Nathan General, Hot 104.1 FM, Cayman Airways, Cost You Less, Radio Cayman, and Breeze FM.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of the show this morning. In the studio with me still, the president of the Cayman Cycling Association, Mr. Daniel Cummins. And we want to talk about what's on the card for the Cycling Association for the rest of the year.
Yeah. Well, coming up, our next international event, not long after the guys have come back in October, is the Caribbean Cycling Championships, and those will be in Guyana. And we'll hope to take a team there with a few riders as well as a few new faces. We just recently held an official national championships, and one of the kind of perks of that was the winner of the race would be able to represent us, and that just kind of ties into our goal of, as we said, just gaining exposure, not just regionally, but for our local athletes and opportunities for them to compete. So hopefully we'll have maybe a couple of new athletes that have never represented Cayman before representing us at that level. Mm-hmm. And then the cycling takes a bit of a winter break, as a lot of sports do. Right. But in 2023, we have a packed calendar. There's 2 major games next year, the Pan American Championships and the CAC Games, which I know Cayman has traditionally attended and done very well at. And both of those are qualifiers for the Olympic Games in 2024 in Paris. We also have the Caribbean Championships next year, and it slipped me for a second there. Oh, we have. We literally have probably another 2 more games to go to, as well as we want to try to go to more regional competitions. We haven't traditionally competed in a lot of other Caribbean islands that are not, say, games. But just getting, and again, it kind of all ties in back to our point earlier, building relationships. So competing in races in other Caribbean countries to assure we keep those relationships and those synergies together by competing in races in maybe in the US, and there's a 3-day tour in Jamaica. You have things like the Tour of Dominica, which I know people here have competed in the past, things like that. So really getting the guys as much international exposure as possible, as well as locally ensuring we have enough races locally. As I said, we have the national championships. We have our kind of annual series, the May series that we have every year, which is a series of 4 races. We're instituting a Cayman Cup, which is kind of an open, all-out race that we hope will eventually become an international event. So yeah, there's a lot on the calendar, as well as kind of making those events, taking those to a high level. Next year, our national championships will be actually on the UCI calendar, the world calendar. So our national champion will be recognized by the UCI. We've registered our stripes. The traditional national champion for cycling wears a white jersey with a set of colored stripes. So we've kind of registered that. So again, it's just kind of bringing the things we've always been doing, in Cayman cycling, but just kind of taking them to the next level and making sure that we're on par with world nations and people that are doing it. Cayman doesn't need to be any different. We can be a powerhouse in cycling, despite of our size or
I didn't get that.
Our population.
Could you try again?
So
earlier we mentioned talked about Ken Gukul. Can you speak a little bit about him and what he brings to cycling and coaching? Is he? We know that members of the Cycling Association, past and current, basically did it. Like you said, you're a non-profit organization. Those persons who serve, as officers and stuff, they're not compensated in any way. You get a nominal amount of funding, from the government. So many people are putting their heart and soul into it simply because of the love of the sport.
Absolutely, and Ken has done just that. Ken moved to Cayman a while back, a few years back. Again, nothing to do with cycling, but was a certified cycling coach in his home of Trinidad, and also was a cyclist in his own right. I believe he was actually the TT national champion at one point in Trinidad. So, he's been around the sport for a very long time, and basically came in and between him and Craig Merrin, kind of got him involved in the local cycling scene, and really has helped to foster, especially Nathaniel, but Victor as well. Some of the techniques and training and everything that has really seen them pay dividends. And kudos to Ken, who's over there now, who takes time off his and thanks to his employer CUC, who gives him the time off. And I think that's I don't know how it works in other sports, but CUC gives him time off its national service, and it seems like quite a few companies do that. And again, things like that are all part of the puzzle. Yes. Where it's great that you can volunteer, but if at some level you can't then get the time off work to go, and these guys you're not talking about a weekend away. These guys are in Birmingham for 2 weeks because you have to train, you have to get acclimatized. You put in that time, and then afterwards it's basically right it again, training for the next thing. And it's working out nutrition, and there's a whole host of things, and the fact that someone like a Ken does it for the love of the sport. In small communities, that's how most sports are run, and you get guys that have there's examples in every sport where people have just been. Football, there's plenty of icons in Cayman that were never paid a cent, but yet, spent 25 years involved in the sport, nurturing youth. And we're fortunate to have an opportunity for someone like Ken to do it. But to kind of your very earlier point, where we need to create, initiatives and programs and have the funding to be able to always have the next Ken and the next Daniel and the next Ed and the next OC coming along, and not just rely on the kind of luck that someone is passionate in the sport and willing to help. Because, if we want to take cycling to that next level, we need that involvement at all levels, at a sustained, organic way. So
okay, if I'm a parent out there who's listening in now, or someone who's interested in cycling as well, what should I do to get myself or a child of mine involved?
Yeah, obviously you can reach out to the association, and right now, like I said, we're still in the kind of, we've only been as a new board, less than 6 months. But so in the future, we'll be able to have a lot more programs that are public programs for kids races. And like I said, we're looking to get an initiative into the schools at primary, middle, and high school level. But for now, you can reach out to the association. We can certainly put you on a pathway to kind of get your child into the sport, and as well as find like-minded groups of individuals. The group rides we're on. I know you've run a group ride for many years, and it's being inclusive of those people. And I think the biggest part is I think people might think that, when you see a bunch of people out riding, if you're not in the right gear, you don't have the right bike, you're not going to be included. And that's very much not the case. On any ride, and any group ride, even just to starting out socially, not even competitive, there's every manner of nationality, age group, skill level, financial diversity, everything there. So it is a lot more inclusive of a sport than I think people may think, and just getting out there and riding a bike, and that's kind of where it starts. And then eventually things will fall into place from that. But absolutely contact the association. We're on any social media platform people want, or there's contact information on the website, caymancycling.ky, and hopefully within the next 12 to 18 months we can start seeing the dividends of programs, and it just increase the community involvement first, and then I think the international exposure and athlete development will come.
Okay. How beneficial has the waiver on or the removal of duty on bicycles, the importation of bicycles, how beneficial has that been? I have been strongly advocating that the government should look at also removing the duty on bicycle parts as well, because the components can be just as expensive, or, or more expensive than the bike frame itself as well. But we know what COVID brought to the Cayman Islands. We know what it did, as far as cycling and being able to procure cycling equipment and everything. But how beneficial has that removal of the duties?
I think it's been highly beneficial, because you see probably a lot of people that wouldn't, for lack of a better description, be classed as your typical cyclists that are now owning road bikes, and 20% of a bike can obviously cost anything from a few $100s to $20,000, depending on the level you go at. So, but you are absolutely right, because bikes, as we know, do take a lot of wear and tear. Even a simple accident, that can be a couple of grand, depending on, your setup. So I think, people with electric cars struggle with the same thing, because I believe it's the same premise that the cars have a very reduced duty, but the parts do not. And I think that it's kind of that holistic view of cycling, and I think obviously environmental sustainability and everything and governance around that is very it's a pretty hot topic now, and everybody's in it. And I think it would definitely be beneficial to kind of help out the community with that extra support of bringing down the costs. And removing a lot of the financial barriers, especially for a sport like cycling, that would help people get into it even more. That would definitely improve a community involvement.
Excellent. We have about 3 minutes left, so I want to give you an opportunity for some closing comments,
Sure.
wrap up, and rehash anything that you may wish to as well.
No, I think this is great, and having opportunities like yourself, with yourself here to talk about cycling in general, and really kind of up the profile of cycling, and hopefully remove any of the stigmas around it. There are opportunities, and there are not just for cycling and obviously as a great sport to improve health and community and all the various things, but just opportunities as well for athletes to go away. And we're not expecting everybody to go away and win a gold medal at the Olympics, but in his time, taking Nathaniel and Victor, both of them have had opportunities to go to Colombia, to Puerto Rico, to Birmingham, to Argentina. Just that international travel and exposure, and just being able to produce good human beings. I mean, in small communities, our level of success at international meets is going to be small, but the impact you can have on people's lives, and just showing them that hard work, dedication. I mean, you think about all the skills of cycling is working together towards a greater good in a team, dedication, discipline, nutrition. I mean, these are just life skills, and that's just sport in general, I think, can bring those things to someone that doesn't have to be. Everyone can be a world champion, but everyone can, compete to their own world championships, whether that's a local race or whether that's just, setting a goal for themselves to ride 25 miles and doing that. So I think there's lots of opportunities for growth for people that just want to enjoy a sport that gets them outdoors and has the potential to take our young athletes to compete at high levels and see things and experience things that they might not have had the opportunity to. So.
Well, Daniel, I want to thank both you and Edward for being here as well. And, thanks for taking up assuming the helm of the Cycling Association. You have some very, very broad shoulders to stand on. The Ted Grays, the Bob Nuneses, the Peter Larders, the David Dibbons, the John Ray, as well. And, Craig is still with us. He's still active.
Yep, he's on the board. He's on the board with us.
And, the Marin brothers' name in the Cayman Islands is one associated with, with cycling as well. But we want to wish you all the best, and certainly, pledge, whatever support we can give as well. Folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension, For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Sterling Dwayne Banks at 12:15 for Talk Today, and as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands, and remind you that we will have the Deputy Premier and Minister of Finance with us in the studio on Monday talking about the census report as well. Have a great day, folks. Please stay safe, and God bless.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health. And JN Money. From abroad to yard. Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066.
Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio